Hi, this is Federico with Cuttle, and in this video I'm going to answer a question that was submitted about how to thicken text for when you want to cut it out of acrylic or other materials that might break really easily. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do it with text, and I'm also going to show you how to do it with other shapes, because that can be very useful sometimes. So I think the easiest way to get started, say if you want some text to cut right away, is to go to the template section in the Codal website and then scroll down to check out the connected text template. So this is a sort of very streamlined way of like getting a file and to be able to use it right away. So here I can simply enter whatever text I want. I'm just going to type something as an example. Codal fish. And here I get to change just a few things like the font and the size. And then right here is that parameter that we're looking for, the thicken option. So I simply need to click on it and then scrub to the right to get it thicker. I think with the default font with Pacifico, it might not be as clear why you would need that. But like if I select something way thinner, revert it, you can see how this is so thin that might be super breakable if it's made out of acrylic. So with some fonts, it really helps to add that kind of automatic thickening or expand. And then when you're happy with what you have, you can simply hit the blue button right here, and then that's going to get you an SVG file that you can use with your machine. But sometimes you might want to incorporate this in other designs. So in that case, it's useful to use the Codal editor. So I'm going to switch my tab over here. And so here I have the editor. It's a blank canvas. And let's say, for example, I want to put that text inside of a frame. So I'm just going to grab a rectangle, I'm going to stretch it. And the first example I'm going to show you is again with connected text. So I'm going to search for connected, find that component here. I can simply drag it onto the canvas, place it where I want it, say something like that. Let's make this a little bigger. And then when I select that text, you'll see that we are very familiar with the kind of things we can change. We can change the font and the size. And then right here is again that thicken option. Try it again with a different font. So I can thicken it right from this place. So that would be an example in the editor using connected text. But sometimes it's actually useful to expand other text, even sometimes you don't have it connected or you don't want it to be connected. So in that case, there is another way to do it. So for example, if I grab just the regular text element that doesn't connect everything automatically, sometimes it's useful to expand it. So for example, let me change the font here. Something like this font. The font is notable. So I'm going to type that name, notable. And so you'll see that when this is selected, I have some options to change the size and the alignment and things like that, but there is not an added expansion. But say if you wanted to expand that or thicken it, you can actually add that too. You can, while selecting that, you can go to modify, and then there is an option called expand. And so that adds the option here to expand it. So you'll see I can actually change that number. And so this could be useful, say, for a design element where you want the font to be a little bit thicker or sort of all connected or have an outline like this one. One interesting thing that this expand modifier adds is that you can change the way the corners are joined. So there's this join option, and if I change it to round, you'll see how it rounds all the corners or where all the lines meet. Those would be the joints. And that can give you some interesting design elements. Besides round, it can also have a bevel, something like that. So you can play around with different fonts and different things. And of course, even after you have applied the expand, you can change the font to check other things out. Perhaps in this case, you want to expand it more. So that can be useful for letters, but it can also be useful for other regular shapes. So for example, if I were to have a star, I can apply the same modifier to the star. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to modify. I'm going to apply the expand. And that helps me, add some distance from the original lines. And when I hover over anything I have applied the expand modifier, let's make it bigger. I can see that the original thing is in blue, that little blue outline that appears, and the now expanded one is the green one. The green one is the one that's gonna, be cut when I send it. You'll see that the same thing happens when I hover over this one. So I hope that was a good introduction to the expand modifier, and thank you so much for your questions. I'll see you in the next one.